because we live in two continents, people
Correct.
have mafroti in Kenya.
Yes.
People have bank accounts.
Yes.
People have unaona some to kama mimi nimeingia stock trading in Kenya, and this is something that maybe I also now need to seriously think about.
To write in that karatasi of yours.
Yeah, because if something happens to me,
things I have.
Yeah, if something happens to me,
yeah.
Now do you need a different plan in Kenya and a different plan in the US? And I think it's also important to have a checklist with like emergency contacts.
Yes.
Also, like contacts for a funeral home. I think these are things that people need to know in advance. Kujua kuna casket ya Walmart ya sonane.
Umesema waifa kidedi anazikwa kwa casket ya sonane. Kidedi unazikwa kwa casket ya tao 5.
Hakuna kitu kama hiyo hapo. Kama ni tumesikizana.
Hapana zi. Uona wote kwa umeamua kulipea sonane, yeye atalipea sonane.
But akishaenda hatajua.
But ndo nasema ndo hivyo
no. You know this show is recorded. Say again.
But now you see with the conditions that we are living in today, in very individualistic societies, utakuta mtu amefiwa, and the problem here in the US is that the system will take over your kids. And being raised in foster care here is not the best. Is not the best of experiences.
But like Mika was saying, I think those are conversations that you have. You're a single person. Yeah. Where do you want your kids to go? Like have that.
And probate is the worst to go through because pia kuna court costs 8 to 20%.
So
or whatever it is.
I think
so watu wanafaa kujipanga, especially kama kuna watoto.
Yeah, and I think it's important kuwa na checklist or to have like even a booklet. I think that there's actually services out there nowadays that they can help you prepare. They're gonna ask you all the questions and tell you what you need to have in that booklet. So your booklet, So your booklet, ikitu AI might help you, but I think it's also important to just have some guidance with people who maybe have some experience in doing this. Your booklet sasa. When upon death, this booklet is now handed over to the next of kin, and it has all the details that are needed, instructions, passwords, and everything, so that you can take care of everything that's needed. Ata probate ikiingia,
nipe pin.
Yes, you guys are already taken care of. And I think it's also important to have a checklist with like emergency contacts.
Yes.
Also, like contacts for a funeral home. I think these are things that people need to know in advance. Kujua kuna casket ya Walmart ya sonane. If that's what you can afford, it's important to have to know these things.
Kwa account.
It's important to actually go interact with these things in advance so that you're not under pressure. Like when
is it you will be under pressure or the family would be left with the pressure?
So because you don't know who's gonna go first.
Understood.
You don't know who's gonna. So both of you.
Whoever.
Both all of you.
Umesema waifa kidedi anazikwa kwa casket ya sonane. Kidedi unazikwa kwa casket ya tao 5.
Hakuna kitu kama hiyo hapo. Kama ni tumesikizana.
Hapana zi. Uona wote kwa umeamua kulipea sonane, yeye atalipea sonane.
But akishaenda hatajua.
But ndo nasema ndo hivyo
no. You know this show is recorded. Say again. No.
Unacheza raf sana hapa.
Endelea tu kusema raf na and roll your eyes and then do your hand like this.
Me that's why
atajuaje akishaenda.
Ndio maana nakwambia wewe unipe tu pin sahihi.
Me that's why I'm happy we do not have to deal with this decision. We all know we're going to go with our white cloth.
Hiyo yenyu after going through with grandma. May her soul rest
and
in
I'll
peace.
say this also, like for me,
that
for my uncle, for my uncle who rested, it was a brouhaha, and
even with instruction,
it even with instructions,
but
with
why?
a will.
But why,
bro? Conditioning.
Okay.
Wacha nikwambie, mazo unafika ngoko cha kuna wazee wanakuja ngoko.
Gadhe.
Alafu pia unajua pia. Alafu pia family jo.
And this is part one.
Unajua family pia hawezi kataza mtu amon vile anda kumon.
Correct.
On this one,
yes,
you
everybody
can't,
mourns
but,
their own way.
But on this one, watu walikangumu, bro.
Another thing that people don't pay attention to is, because we live in 2 continents, people
Correct.
have mafroti in Kenya.
Yes.
People have bank accounts.
Yes.
People have, unaona some to kama mimi nimeingia stock trading in Kenya. And this is something that maybe I also now need to seriously think about.
To write in that karatasi of yours.
Yeah, because if something happens to me...
Things I have.
Yeah, if something
where
happens
they
to
are.
me,
Yeah.
now do you need a different plan in Kenya and a different plan in the US?
If the inheritance is going to be different, I would say so. But if you like you said, you guys munandika chini kwa kala ka kitabu before things are divvied out.
Yeah.
If you've written everything down there, then you don't need to do split decision. But
now the thing is, if you've written it here, you see in Kenya, there's a legal way of doing it. Because Kenya kuna kadhis courts, there's a legal way of doing it.
Okay.
But now if we do it in America, the question is, kama nimeandika hapa, can that be taken to Kenya and be valid?
Yes.
Are you saying yes based on what you know?
No, because that is your spouse. The marriage will be recognized. That is your spouse.
Ngoja.
This is
where
the point.
In fact, that is your spouse. That person will be recognized.
Unajua nini? Hiyo swali ni fiti sana. Kwa sababu naje kama so JP inheritance wanataka kutax.
Yes.
So
kuna inheritance tax.
Ikifika kwa hiyo part ya kutax hiyo inheritance taxiwa na wapi, na Kenya ama na America?
So ndo nasema hiki tu
hizo za Kenya unaweza kaina trust, na kama huyo mtu yuko ndani hiyo trust
right now
atapata automatically.
This is a very interesting question vile Aliam amesema. It's one of those questions in which we speculate.
We can't speculate.
I can tell you that
honestly, how I think of how if I was me, how I will do it.
Yes,
I will protect myself legally in both sides.
Correct.
So I think we need to find experts to give us the most efficient way.
Somebody does estate law.
The most efficient way of doing this. And someone who understands the Kenyan law and also someone who understands the law here. Because unaweza kuwa umepanga kitu huko, but maybe the American system does not recognize that.
Hata tu ile shamba yenu tu ya ushago pia unaweza taka.
Yeah, that's ancestral.
Wacha hata hivyo, kuna hizi deal uko na mtu ni
zile zijaandikwa
nijenge hii nyumba.
Ama zile mimi na Umoshi tumefungwa biza hapa. Umoshi amemazemika kuna bizi ya samaki.
Yes.
Watu wangapi?
Mika ameka 100k.
Yeah, ama unaona vile niko na, for example, uko na mi vile niko na mabodaboda sasa in Malindi. So vitu kama hizo hapo, ziko 3 sasa.
Ali.
My guy, ziko 3.
Okay, wait.
I'm going to become a bodaboda mogul.
What's that word in Muslims when they say that interest?
Riba.
Ali is at riba stage now. And he's not supposed to be going through these things for riba. He's supposed to be going in to help so that he towards zakat.
But how is that riba?
Ali, boss, at this point, in profit.
Profit is not riba. Profit is not
riba.
Interest. No, yes. Interest and profit are 2 different things.
Okay, so what is
unajua,
how is interest handled?
Omosh kitu umesahau ni.
Omosh.
Yes.
Omosh kitu umesahau.
Omosh,
consider this.
Yes.
You're supposed to provide for yourself and your family, right?
Yes.
Unaenda shambani kulima upande mmea. Ukiinvest kwa biashara, profit ndo mimea yako yani. So see interest like the profit that comes from your investment, that is your fruits of your labor. Kazi yako. So you're like inatoka riziki yako, hiyo ndo riziki yako umeget.
Let me help Omosh understand the difference between interest and profit.
According to Muslims.
No, but let's even go the conventional way. Let's even go the conventional way.
I just want to know how those interests na profits zinadonjo.
So profit,
according to your life as a Muslim, because sahi pia mimi nataka nikule. Otherwise, I'm taking you to the nini.
So profit, there's a business, there's an underlying business.
Yes.
There's an underlying asset.
Correct.
Yeah, there's a business or you know, like kuna kitu, you're leasing something, you're renting something, you're buying, you're selling something. With interest, mi nakwambia, you know, like nakupatie $100, but nataka unirudishie 105 next month. There's nothing, you know, like nimekupatia pesa, and then just like the way a bank will give you money, and then even if you choose to go do business with the money, whether you make a profit or a loss, you have to pay the bank their interest.
Correct.
Sasa hiyo hapo, hiyo ndo imeharamishwa Kiislamu.
Okay.
Yeah, like whenever there's no when we have a business, you know, like unaenda, the business is I bought a motorbike,
yes,
and I'm leasing it to someone.
Correct.
I'm charging them a daily fee.
Yeah.
So now that is considered, you know, that's a fee, so that's considered profit.
Okay, it's not considered interest.
Yes, it's not considered interest. And you know the interesting thing about,
no pun
you know,
intended, the interest.
You know,
but
let him finish.
The verse that has forbidden interest, they say they will try to confuse you, and this is me paraphrasing, between what's trade, you know, like what's profit in trade,
yes,
and what's interest. They'll tell you that it looks the
now
same.
I see. Okay,
Yeah.
Now I see where you're going. Okay.
Yeah, because interest
Okay.
has a fundamental injustice. Talk about any
gain,
interest.
the gain part. Okay,
No,
I see where you're.
interest.
Okay.
There's always someone who's suffering. Anytime you're receiving interest, think about it like easy bonds. Like in Kenya, people are buying bonds. For example, this is just a random example. People are buying bonds. And then maybe it's a 15% bond. You pay 10,000, and then they give you 1,500 in interest. Where do they get that 1,500 from? Have you ever asked yourself that question? So you may lend Gava 10K, and then they're giving you 1,500 every year from that 10K.
I don't know. Maybe
where they get it.
Maybe Walinyonga Gachagua. I don't know.
No, they're getting it from
somewhere else.
They're getting it from taxpayers.
Okay, I see what.
Yeah, they're getting it from taxpayers. So essentially, that's the injustice.
So
now
people are robbing Peter.
People are protesting because of high taxes.
Yes.
So now, and that's a fundamental injustice. Any interest at a bank, you know, like whenever the bank is giving you interest, they're usually
giving you interest. Got it.
When wanakwambia weka savings account, we're gonna give you, you know, like 2%. Where are they getting it from?
From their people.
So credit card.
Please.
They take your money.
Yeah.
Wanapatia mtu mwingine credit card. Niyo pesa si yao.
Yeah.
So like kwa credit card yako, the money that you're using, that money doesn't belong to the bank.
Correct.
It belongs to someone else.
An investment.
So they get a fee from that.
Yeah.
They get 30%, and then wanakwambia watakupatia 2%.
Yes. Alafu wanadonja na 28.
Yeah. So that essentially, and now look at third world countries. They are now, right now, Kenya pali imefika, unasikia whatever we are paying in, is it in interest, is more than the wage bill of the government.
Yeah.
Yes. Just what we're paying in interest. So that's the essential part why, you know, like we're discouraged from naangalia like what those loans have done to third world countries.
So in essence, zile pikipiki zako utuandikie kwa kitabu, pia sisi tuongeze mapikipiki, then whichever one of us checks out, huyo ndio mutaendelea na business. Next topic.
No, so all the moral of the story is all these things have to be, you know, like written down somewhere.
Yes, somebody
any
needs
piece
to
of
know.
wealth.
You need to disclose.
Yeah.
You need to disclose and then try to figure out how is it that you want to divvy them up. And people need to know while you're still here so that it's not an issue that people are fighting over when you're not here.
Yeah, because now utaacha watoi wako wanze kufight over wealth, and then now those are kinship ties that are going to be cut, because inheritance ufanya even siblings wakawa hawaongei.
Boss.
Yeah.
Na bado.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.